welcome back. It is Chris Nichols here with Bow River Trout Fitters, and today Elliot and Kellen and I are going to drift down the Bow River. We got a beautiful summer day, and what we want to show you is how to read the water, how to find the fish. I mean, one of the things that beginners really struggle with is just locating where the fish are holding in the first place. We have some other videos you should watch where we teach you how to fish those particular kinds of water, but today we are going to point out the stuff that we look for. This applies whether you're floating in a boat or walking and wading, so absolutely you'll want to pay attention. Let's get to it. So right now it's early summer, but the water is nice and low and it's clear. And so this is one piece of water that we look for. We've got this nice, big, slow section of water, very flat, and you can really easily see rising fish. We've got PMDs hatching, we've got caddis, and they're just coming up all over behind me here. So when you find these large, what we call glassy banks, very slow walking pace water, this is what you want to focus on. Look for rising fish that are coming up regularly and then toss flies to them. Okay, so now we're going to talk about one of the first kinds of water that a lot of beginners pick up on, and that's seams and deflections. So seams are where you've got fast water coming alongside slow water, and the fish want to sit in that slow water where they don't waste any energy, maybe come out into the fast water to grab food and then go back to their shelter. Now here you can see very clearly that fast water coming, but it slows down next to the bank, and right on those transitions, that's where we want to put our flies. Another really good spot is deflections from boulders or tree stumps or just grass. You can see how the water kicks out and it creates that slow water behind. These transitions where you got fast meeting slow is one of the most common places to try to catch fish. So another piece of water that we often look for is a drop off. And this is where you just have a transition from very shallow water right into a deep bucket. Sometimes you'll see this right on a bank where it looks very shallow, but it immediately drops down. Sometimes this will be a slot in the middle of the river, a trough where fish will actually hold on both sides of those drop offs. Sometimes this will also be just a ledge where the water goes over it downstream and then down into a bucket. But anywhere that you see those transitions, that's a great place to try to fish. And we got a hot summer day here today, and water temperatures are pushing high 50s, and in these situations sometimes what we find is the fish actually want to move to a little bit more oxygenated, fast moving water. So looking for places where the water on the surface is broken up, riffles or where two seams are coming together, those areas create some turbulence that actually gives the fish a feeling of security from any birds of prey above them, but also it churns up the water. You get lots of oxygen, lots of movement, and on a really hot day that can be a great place to target. Now when you have two currents coming together in the river, what they'll often do is push against each other, and then they put these little peaks on the water. You can see it here, it's like little mountain peaks. And that's a really nice piece of water to also target, because as the water comes together, even though it's got flow, when it collides together, it actually creates a soft spot in the middle. Fish will sit there, but those peaks and that moving water on top really obscures vision up to predators, birds, osprey, things like that above. So anytime we see that, we know there's going to be oxygen, there's going to be depth, there's going to be a fairly slow, still portion underneath that where the fish like to live, and lots of food coming to them from two different currents. So one thing that we look for on the bow a lot as we're drifting down the river is grassy banks. And there's a couple reasons for that. First off, they'll often have an undercut, and the fish will tuck right into that undercut right along the bank. But all that tall grass also gives lots of opportunities for bugs to fall into the water, more food for the fish, gives them some cover from predators. So anytime we see grassy cut banks like that, we always go for them. All right, so the Bow River was very good to us. It was because we were targeting those specific kinds of waters. We actually got a lot of dry fly action today. Kellen caught a beautiful brown trout. And it was all about just looking for the water and putting your flies there. Catching fish, a big part of it is presentation, but another big part of it is just being able to keep your flies where the fish actually are. So hopefully this video really helped you guys to kind of decipher how a river works and what to look for. Please do leave questions below though in the comments. We'd love to answer that. If you have any questions about the water that we were talking about today or how to find other things, we would love to help you with that. Please subscribe to the channel if you can. We'd appreciate that too. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you soon with more episodes. Bow River Trout Fitters.